Yeah, so I'm Anthony Fisher. I lead the data analytics and data management efforts for the Department of Revenue. Really what my focus is to ensure that the data at the Department of Revenue is secure, safe, and we're able to share it across multiple agencies and ensure that privacy and security is of the utmost quality. So my journey started actually from the private sector. So I started off as an investment banker, then I became a consultant and did a little bit of work with a couple federal agencies through government contractors, and then found my way to the state. And really, I like to always say I started off in finance, fell in love with math and numbers, and just kept following it because that's where I ended up, is just being purely in data science. So I'll use an example from back when I was the head of the data analytics program at the Marijuana Enforcement Division here in Colorado before I took on this new role as the head of all of data management and data analytics for DOR. So in this example, what we did was we partnered as the MED with CDPHE, which is essentially the health department of the state of Colorado. And through that, we were able to share some data where we would get reports of incidents, or CDPHE would get reports of incidents, what we would call essentially an incident where an individual consumed marijuana and they got sick, and they reported it to either the health department or they reported it to the MED. And what we realized is both agencies were getting reports, and sometimes the same exact report or the same exact incident was occurring, but we're both using resources to follow up on it. Whereas it would make a lot more sense if there was one simple pathway where somebody could report in and that messaging was sent out to CDPHE and the MED. For those that don't know, regulation in the state of Colorado is handled by about 5 different agencies. So we all kind of have a different hand or a different role in it. So by having this singular pathway and being able to share data and collaborate on investigations and make sure that folks are safe when consuming marijuana, we were able to actually mitigate the amount of resources dedicated to each one of these cases, but also we were able to kind of stay in our own lane, so to speak. So the health department could handle their health-related data and help those folks however they're supposed to by statute, and then the MED could focus on working with the businesses and working with the manufacturers of the product, which is really more of our arena. So the success of the collaboration first and foremost started with governance. As I've always said, governance is key, and that's the beginning cornerstone to any good data program. Ensuring that you have the roles and responsibilities properly addressed, making sure that data sharing, data access, all those things where people have hands-on data or passing data along, that there's governance in place for that. But most importantly, we both had really sophisticated pieces of infrastructure and teams dedicated to managing that. So my team was responsible for a data lake and all the different sources of data that we were commingling across this relationship. And same with CDPHE, they had a team dedicated to that as well. And so I would say, again, governance and making sure that there was infrastructure in place, actual technical, physical infrastructure, in order to make this possible. Otherwise, it would basically be a situation of sending emails back and forth or sending paper files back and forth, which, as we know, is not efficient. And so all of us signed up to be stewards for the state of Colorado and its citizens. And so it's important to continue in collaboration and data sharing in order to achieve that goal, because there's sometimes instances where I'm the leader of an agency and I have access to data that you, as somebody else from a different agency across the state, might actually need in order to fulfill its mission and best serve the folks of Colorado. And so without having collaboration, without having these pieces of governance in place, without having the technical infrastructure and being able to bring it all together, we are technically doing a disservice to our citizens.